Time for my daily dispatch now, and it's based around our Twitter poll that's doing the rounds at the moment. Loads of you getting in touch with that so far, which is it time now, do you think, that Remainers back post-Brexit Britain in 2021? So far, 92% of you are saying yes to that. I do very much understand that there are two main camps on Brexit, and just because I believe in it doesn't mean that I think everyone else has to think like me, although that would be quite nice sometimes. I do get that many Remainers, they thought that the Brexit vote was an epic act of national self-harm. They drank the Project Fear Kool-Aid, didn't they? They had the Stockholm Syndrome, they pined for ever closer union with our unelected foreign friends in Brussels, but they lost. And to paraphrase a Norwegian football commentator, their boys took one hell of a beating, didn't they? There were court cases, there were anti-democracy marches, there were calls for a second referendum. There were calls for a deal that basically meant we might as well have just stayed in the European Union. There were calls for us to castrate ourselves at the negotiating table publicly by removing the no deal option. But all of that's over now. It's been and gone. And as of 11 p.m. tonight, Brexit will have been delivered. And so I ask again, should Remainers now get behind it to ensure that Britain thrives? Well, why wouldn't they, really? What's the point in sniping from within and trying to undermine this country as it finds its feet again as a sovereign entity on the world stage? It's the equivalent of pouring petrol through your letterbox, setting fire to it and then locking yourself inside. You can just sit back there as the smouldering ashes gather around you and say, ha, I told you so. What's the point of that? That's not the way the world works, is it? Think how powerful we'd be as a nation if we all came together. Remainers and Brexiteers, we put our differences aside in the new year and just worked as one great British team to propel Britain into the stratosphere. Let's talk Britain up on the world stage instead of constantly criticising our past and obsessing over our negatives. It made me feel physically sick, actually, to hear the likes of David Cameron, Tony Blair, even Theresa May. I mean, take your pick, frankly. There was loads of them all queuing up to talk Britain down. That, for me, was basically a crime. I can't believe that you would have people who are paid, quite handsomely, by the way, to represent you and represent your national interests, who clearly felt so strongly that we were just little England, that we were such a weak little country that actually needed more from other people than we could give to them. I do think it's time that people stop being sore losers now, I think. Stop your pity party and instead come to the party. In 2021, this could be the start of a bright new future for Britain. Even Sir Keir Starmer said that Britain's best years are ahead of us. It's nice to actually hear from him because I thought he'd gone AWOL for a while. I was about to report him missing to the police, but no, he is there apparently. What should our priorities be, though? And this, I think, is just moving this on a little bit now, really. What should our priorities be going forward? Boris Johnson spoke about levelling up the country, didn't he? Well, he did that by lobbing us all into lockdown. So, cheers, Bojo. But we've cut our foreign aid budget now, so maybe we can bring more of that money back home, as it were. Our coastal communities have been decimated. We need to do more to lift people out of poverty. And this is something that, I don't know what you guys think about this on the phone lines, 03444991000. I think for a lot of people on the right, as it were, when we had this free school meals campaign, the likes of Marcus Rashford, of course, championed there, a lot of people seem to be against that. They were saying, oh, hang on a minute, it's the job of parents to feed their kids. And yeah, all right, okay, of course, it is ultimately the job of parents to feed their kids. But for me, that was missing the point a little bit there, really. I think the idea that we're constantly being told that we had to tighten our belts and that this country was going through austerity and that there wasn't a magic money tree. Well, hang on a minute. The fact that you can't feed school children is a national disgrace. And in fact, it was a lie, wasn't it? We were lied to about this. The lie was exposed by the eye-watering amount of money we managed to find and indeed borrow to deal with this COVID crisis. Are these areas now in our country that you would like to see boosted post-Brexit?